Full screen.
Alright, so this is our forensics fall 2017 group project, and in this group is Jay, Mizanur, Syed, Kanishka, and myself, Amrit.
So the objectives of this research project was to select 5 different companies in the information security field and find out about services they offer, products, and their impact on information security. A report was also created to display our findings. The information covered in this presentation can also be found in our report. Please refer to the report for more detailed findings.
So the first company we selected, well, the 5 companies we selected are Microsoft, IBM, Apple, Google, and Intel. The first company we're going to talk about is Microsoft. An introduction on Microsoft. It was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen in 1975. It's headquartered out of Redmond, Washington, in the United States. They sold BASIC, B-A-S-I-C, the first computer language program to MITS computers, Microsoft's first customer. On March 13, 1986, the company went public, Microsoft, and in 1986, Bill Gates became the youngest billionaire in the world. A list of products that were released by Microsoft. In 1981, they released their most successful operating system after the failure of Xenix, and in 1990, they sold over $1 billion worth of products, and then they entered the domination software market. They had domination in the software market, and in 1985, they introduced their first operating system, Windows 1.0. In 1990, they went on to launch Windows 3.0, then Windows 3.1. Around 1995, they launched their very popular Windows 95 and later updated it to Windows 98. In 2001, they launched Windows XP Home, which operates on a 32-bit single processor, which operates on 32-bit single processing computers. In 2007, they launched Windows Vista, which was very, very successful. In 2009, one of their most successful operating systems, Windows 7. In 2012, they launched Windows 8, which was later updated to 8.1 in 2014. And in 2015, they launched their most recent and up-to-date Windows 10. Some of the products and services that they offer. They provide data centers for organizations using Windows Server operating systems, and they have the very popular Microsoft Office suite, which includes Excel, Outlook, and PowerPoint, and a host of other softwares. They provide mobile software solutions. They have the .NET framework, which is very useful for creating applications. They also have Windows 10 Windows 10 also uses the Edge browser instead of the Internet Explorer. They developed the very popular gaming console Xbox. They developed the Surface family of tablets. They offer cloud services on the Azure platform. And then they have the very, very popular voice over IP, Skype, which gives control over voice over IP, and video conferencing services. The second company that we talked about, or that we researched on our report, is IBM, International Business Machines. They started in 1911 as Computing Tabulating Recording Company. Later in 1924, they were renamed to IBM. They're headquartered out of Armonk, which is in New York, USA. Their major focus is on large-scale tabulating solutions for customers. And they also offer hosting and consultancy services. Some of their inventions and major events. In 1885, Julius got patent for computing scales. In 1888, Alexander Day came up with the dial recorder. In 1890, Herman Hollerith made punched card systems and the electric tabulating machines. In 1900, Willard Bandy created the time clock. And a little more on their history. IBM traded its ThinkPad business to Lenovo and x86, the x86-based server. They were also the first to experiment on artificial intelligence, and they also took part in in the World War II through manufacturing small arms for the United States. Some of the products and services. So they have cloud computing on public and private platforms using hybrid cloud models. They have which includes infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. They have IT outsourcing with AlphaWorks. They have online services, which include Redbooks, which deals in online books about computing, discussion forums, and blogs. They also develop hardware components. IBM's Power microprocessors are used and in PlayStation 3. They develop dynamic random access memory and UPC barcodes. They're one of the most dominant companies in the personal computer market. Some of the major inventions include the ATM, floppy disks, the magnetic strip card, and selectric typewriters.
So now we're going to talk about Apple. This is some basic info. It's founded by Steve Jobs. It was founded in 1976. It's a multinational tech company. Their product releases. So it was released in 1976. The Apple One was, and it's a boxwood wood made with with the basic motherboard inside. And then the Apple II was released in 1977. It was the first personal computer with color graphics and a floppy disk drive. And the Apple III was released in 1980. It was designed for business, had lots of problems. It just didn't work well. Nobody bought it. And then they had the Macintosh, which was released in 1984. It was the first computer built with a graphical user interface. And then there was the iMac, which was released in 2001. It had the popular Mac OS, which still runs today. It's based on Linux. And then, of course, they had the iPod, which was was used instead of MP3 players. It was released in 2001. Just a little bit of history. So in 2006, the MacBook Pro and iMac were first Apple computers to use Intel's Core Duo CPU. The Boot Camp was also released, which is also used in Macs today. So users are able to run Windows concurrently with Mac OS instead of running it in a VM. And then some other products and services. They released a wide range of iPhones, including the exceptional iPhone X. The iPod was released in 2001. It's from the second generation iPod software, where it worked with Microsoft Windows. And then, of course, the iPhone, as mentioned before, it runs on Apple iOS operating system. The first gen of iPhone was released in 2007 with a multi-touch screen. The latest is the iPhone X with Face ID and wireless charging. And iPad, which was released in 2010, was a tablet PC with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And then, of course, they have iCloud, which was released in 2011. It has online storage, syncing service, and emails. To keep up with Microsoft, Apple made Pages, Numbers, and Keynotes, which are similar to Microsoft Office's Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. iMovie, Final Cut Pro, and GarageBand for video and music creation. And of course, they offer music streaming services such as Apple to compete with Spotify and Google Play. And then comes the security aspect. So Apple claims it has the most effective security organization. Security for iPhone is divided into multiple layers. There's the industry standard and then the Apple hardware. The iPhone has a key which only Apple has authentic privilege to access since the release of the iPhone 3GS. Apple claims Face ID in iPhone X is not fooled by anything. However, some companies are finding ways to penetrate it. Apple always recommends its users to download applications and software only from trusted sources.
So our next company is Google. It is an American multinational, publicly traded organization. It was founded by Sergey Brin and Larry Page. The breakthrough product was their internet search engine. So in 1998, Larry Page and Sergey Brin created Google search engine. Later in 2000, they introduced AdWords into Google. In 2001, they hired Dr. Eric Schmidt as their new CEO. Some of the products and services of Google. At first, it was only focused on search engine algorithm. Later on, they moved into online advertising. Today, every media publishing website uses Google Ads as their primary source of web revenue. They also moved into cloud computing that includes Google Maps, Google Chrome, Gmail, Google Drive, Docs, YouTube, and there are many more. So they also came to the smartphone market. Their latest edition is Pixel 2. It's a second generation of their flagship smartphone. And then their Google Wi-Fi is the mesh network of routers. They also released their home assistant named Google Home, which is competing with Amazon Alexa in the market right now. Some of the security features of Google are: Google claimed to have the world's most advanced security infrastructures. It makes the data safe through encrypting everything, and the threat detection is continuously updated. It doesn't give direct access to government to use their data, which is kind of very secure, and they're aimed to make everything free for the virtual users.
So then the last company that we researched was Intel, which stands for Integrated Electronic Corporation. So it was founded in 1968 by Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. It is the largest semiconductor chip producer in the world, and their first product was the Schottky TTL bipolar 64-bit SRAM processor, and at that time it was twice as fast as the other competitors. So their products and services, Intel mainly designs processors for use in IoT devices, laptop, desktop, and mobile devices. So their core processors line of CPUs are designed generally for just laptops and desktops for the general consumer, whereas the Xeon processors are designed for cloud computing and data analysis. So Intel Xeon processors are designed for highly parallel workloads with unified hardware and software. They also offer a wide range of other products such as chipsets, memory storage, server products, networking, and any other basic component in the computer field. So in terms of their security, Intel builds hardware enables security capabilities directly into their silicon hardware, which contains the abilities to control security on all levels, which include hardware, firmware, application, networks, and cloud. So it also provides security solutions to consumers and mainly companies and large corporations. So one of their solutions is the blockchain, which helps businesses improve the privacy, scalability, and security of their network infrastructure. However, in recent news, there was a security vulnerability on many of their chips or their processors that they released to the general consumers, which include Meltdown and Spectre. And these vulnerabilities essentially allow hackers to steal password, crypto keys, personal information, and anything else that can lead to stolen information. However, Intel has released patches to fix the problem. These patches have been known to slow down performance and overall, yeah.
So, in conclusion, all major tech companies want to implement security standards in their infrastructure to ensure longevity. These security standards differ slightly depending on the company. However, the core concepts are usually the same. The security implementers are necessary for consumers and companies alike. These are the works cited. Thank you for listening to our presentation.